Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I've got something special for you because at the time of recording this, which is the 28th of February, I have just seen the spring updates for eBay for 2017, and that means me and you are going to have a little chat about them. Now, I'm not joking when I say this. This is like breaking news from today. I was live in a webinar and these links went live. So as soon as the webinar finished, I've got some time to sit down, go through the changes for both the UK and the US sites, and that's what I'm going to be talking with you about right now. So we're going to start with the UK, and that's ebay.co.uk, mainly because there's only one area of change going on, and that is regarding the shop subscription changes. Now, so apologies if I keep looking down, that's where I was making all my notes before. Now, being brutally honest, which this channel allows me to be, I don't think this update is particularly a good one for sellers. Firstly, the first thing that I noticed, along with, well, actually it was Matt who noticed it, and he said that usually, and I remember this too, eBay would give you a 90-day period in which to, sort of like a 90-day notice period of any changes that are upcoming. Not this time, because these changes are coming into effect from the 1st of April. The more astute among you will have realised that right today when you're watching this is now the 1st of March. That's only 30 days period. That is not normal behaviour from eBay. Whether these changes have come out very quickly in response to something, we don't know. We could only speculate. But yeah, so there's no 90-day notice, only 30 days before these changes are coming in. So basically what's changing with ebay.co.uk is the store subscriptions. As you will hopefully know, on eBay you can have different levels of store subscription. You have your basic store, a featured store, or an anchor store. Anchor being the most expensive and basic being the most basic. Now, to look at the changes, we'll start off with the monthly cost. So the cost for a basic store on eBay per month was £17.38, and that is going up to £25. The featured store was £52.75, that's going up to £69, and the anchor store was £217.38, and that is going up to £269, and all this is coming into effect from the 1st of April. Now, putting that into perspective, it just screams to me that eBay no longer want people on basic. And you'll find out more about that in a minute, but to just look at the price increase there, the basic store subscription has gone up 43%. The featured store has gone up 30%, and the anchor store has gone up 23%. So there's a huge increase from basic, and what you're going to find out in a minute is that you don't actually get much more bang for your buck, to coin an Americanism. Now, going on to the included listings, this is something where as part of your store subscription you get included a number of listings every month. So on the basic store, the increase has gone up 50 listings, so you'll now get 250 listings included. The featured store has gone up 300, so you now get 1500 included listings with a featured store. And there's no change to anchor store because that was already unlimited, so they can't give you more unlimited. Finally, for the insertion fees for any additional listings over your included amount, for basic, that has gone up 6p to 15 pence from it originally being 9 pence. Featured stores have gone up 1p, it's now 5p per additional listing, and once again, anchored is no charge because you get unlimited anyway. So again, it's a huge increase for basic. We're talking, you get 50 more listings, that's fine. However, you're paying 6 pence more for any that go over the 250 amount. Also, I will say that all optional listing upgrades, such as subtitles and that sort of thing, have also seen a price increase. For all the details, check out the links in the description. I'll be blatantly labelled what is for the UK and what is for the USA. Check them both out if you're interested, but like I said, both the links are down there, and that details all the information for you in more detail than I can give you in this very quick video. One thing to note, however, with the UK is that there are no changes to final value fees or any fees at all if you're a private seller. This is only coming in for shop subscription changes. Now, I will mention as well that with the store subscriptions, they are now including some listing credit and packaging credit. Now, the listing credit is for those optional extras like subtitles and stuff that you can spend. So for a featured store, you get £10 worth of listing credit and £10 worth of packaging credit. For an anchor store, you get £20 of both. Basic store, you get nothing. And you see, that's where my problem is, because right there, your basic store has gone up 43%. And for that, they're giving you 50 extra listings. Nothing else. So for me, it seems eBay want you to go to featured and no longer want you on that basic level. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the UK changes there. So if you're a UK seller, the link is in below if you've not seen it already. They should have emailed it you, to be fair. But let me know what your thoughts are on this update. From an outsider who no longer sells personally on eBay, it doesn't look like a good one to me. I'll be honest, unless you're like an anchor store, then you know the changes aren't that going to be that big to you. But if you're a small one starting out, that's a bit of a pill to swallow. Anyway, with that said, UK is done. On to the USA now. Now, if you are watching this from the USA, your changes are a little bit different. Because whilst your store subscriptions are not changing, for most of you, your final value fees are. Your final value fees are going up 0.15%. Yeah, why? That seems like a very small amount. So some categories, let me just pull that up because I had the tab available. Store updates, and like I said, the link that I'm looking at right now is down in the description. But for example, say you were doing musical instruments and gear, and such as DJ equipment, you were paying 7%, your new rate will be 7.15%. Not really sure. If you were selling motor parts, your current rate was 8%, your new rate will be 8.15%. So if there's going to be an increase, it is of 0.15%. However, there is no change coming for selected computer, tablets, networking, video game consoles, heavy equipment, trailers and carts, and other sorts of commercial bits and bobs. Those are not going to change. And also, if you do not have a store, there's no change there. That's your standard 10%. So that's an interesting one. Your final value fees are going up 0.15%, which is a very odd amount. The big changes for the US, though, is regarding top rated seller, or top rated seller plus, as it's now known. Your final value fee discount that you get for being a top rated seller plus is cutting in half. You previously used to get 20% discount, you're now only getting 10%. And not only that, they're going to make it a little bit harder to become TRS plus because they have increased the requirement for the tracking requirement, from 90% to 95%. So that means that 95% of all of your orders need to have tracking information put against them. If they don't, you don't qualify for TRS. So that's a jump of 5%. I'm going to guess if you're using a tracking courier, then it's either sort of going to be all or nothing, really. But again, it seems that they're taking away from they're taking away with one hand and then taking away with the other. They're making it harder to become TRS and costing you more money in a way. So again, it's not great, that bit. And what I forgot to mention is that the eBay USA changes are coming into effect from the 1st of May. You get an extra 30 days in the USA. It's still not 90 days, but you get 60, the UK gets 30. Now, on to the good news for the USA. Now, this is where, like I said, I couldn't really spot a good news in the UK update, really, other than them including a little bit of credit if you're featured on an anchor store of like 10 and 20 quid. However, if you are in the USA, what they're rolling out is getting rid of those horrendous third-party ads and that means that on your listing page, eBay could throw in an advert that would take someone off eBay and onto another website. Why eBay even allowed this to happen, I'm not entirely sure. But they're getting rid of third-party ads and replacing them with eBay listing promotion ads. So instead, you get to now pay to have your listing promoted across eBay. The pricing structure of this, I'm not quite sure of. However, if you are TRS Plus, you will receive $30 per quarter to spend promoting your eBay listings across the eBay platform. This reminds me back in the days when they used to have ad commerce, which was basically eBay's version of AdWords. I thought it was fantastic. It was so much cheaper than AdWords, and it worked. So whether we're going to see a return to that eventually, of eBay bringing in their own version of AdWords once again, I hope so, because it was fantastic. If you used it correctly, you could really boost your listings and ultimately sales and profit. And finally, a nice update which I think is coming to eBay USA, is they're bringing out some new shipping rate tables and also the ability to select your working days and cut-off time options, which is fantastic. That is a sort of flexibility which sellers have been asking for a long time. You know, rather than being penalised for not shipping things on a Saturday or a Sunday, they can now select, we work Monday to Friday, our cut-off time for dispatch is 3 o'clock. That sort of thing. It gives the seller much more freedom, but it also limits the buyer's expectations to a much more realistic one, rather than them saying, oh, I ordered it at 8 o'clock at night, why is it not here tomorrow? Because everybody went home, mate, at 5. You get the gist. So that is good. And what I will say with these sort of developments, with the third-party ads, with the shipping rate tables and cut-off time options, these are the sort of features that they roll out into ebay.com, and a few months later they will trickle out to the rest of the world. .co.uk, .es, .it, .au. They'll go around the world. So all of a sudden, Australia, Europe, UK, Germany, wherever, you will probably start to see these same features become available in your native eBay sites. So that's it. That is the eBay spring update for 2017, this side. I guess you can pretty much tell what I think. The US one is good and bad. The fee increases are pretty minimal, which is good. I mean, nobody likes a fee increase, but if it's going to happen, it best be a small one. And yeah, it's not great that they're moving the goalposts on TRS Plus, but it's eBay. They've done that for the past 10 years, and they will continue to do so. Sellers keep getting better. They need to, keep adjusting the margins. Getting rid of third-party ads is by far the best news, and the shipping rate tables and the work day and cut-off time options look fantastic. As for the UK, the shop subscription changes are really bad if you're a basic shop subscription, because you are basically paying more money for 50 more listings a month, and that's about it. You don't get any of the other benefits that Featured and Anchor are getting, and it's still a jump from £25 to £69 between basic and featured. That is a jump if you're only small and starting out. With that said, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know if you think I've missed anything, and just generally, how will it affect your business? I really would like to know. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you as always in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.